Welcome to The Moment. Glad to have you join us this evening. Want to thank God for your life. Want to thank God for everything that He has been doing in your life since the last time that we are together on this broadcast. I know a lot has been happening in the world. You have heard a lot. You have seen a lot. But I want to thank God that you are able to make it till this last Friday in the month of July. We have crossed to the second half of the year 2022. I want you to know that you that has made it to this end of the first month in the second half of the year 2022, you will surely make it to the end of the year 2022 and beyond. I want you to be rest assured that you will make it. You see, I want you to know that God has planned for you, and His plan for you, nothing can stop it. So don't be the one that will stop yourself from experiencing that which God has in stock for you. Remember, in this broadcast, one of our major things is for us to be able to to go on that journey and begin to experience the best moment that God has created for us. I said this in the last broadcast, that we were not created to suffer. We were not created to have bad moments in life. Every moment that was created in the beginning, even before we were created, was created to be the best. And something happened. The best was lost, but I want you to know that Jesus Christ restored the best moment into the moments of our life. But not everybody can see it, not everybody can experience it, but I want you to know that you will be able to identify and connect with the great moment that God has made for us. I always like to, most of the time, to look at two people in the same situation as an example for us on how to connect and how to experience the best in every moment. Remember, I will always say this, that in every moment there is the moment. And I said to us that the moment is the best moment in every moment of life. I want to reiterate that, because I always want to say that, because that's why we are in this broadcast, that in every of the moment, in every situation that we find ourselves, in every situation that is facing us, in every situation that we get into, I want you to know, no matter how good, no matter how bad it looks like, I want you to know that there is the best in the midst of that situation for you. And you cannot afford not to do what? Identify it and connect with it. It's available. It's right there where you are, right there in the midst of that situation. No matter what you are in at this very moment, no matter what you have been going through, or no matter what you are in right now, I want you to know that they're the best available in the midst of it. So this broadcast is going to be helping us to connect with the best in every situation of life, in every circumstances in life. What is the story that I want us to briefly look at today? The story of many of us, we know the story of David and Goliath. Before I get into that, let me use this opportunity also. I don't want to forget that. I don't want to just run faster than myself. I want to appreciate those that are joining us on this broadcast for the first time. I want you to know that you are a treasure, and we appreciate you that you're taking time out of your busy schedule to be in this broadcast with us. You see, for us in this broadcast, having you in this broadcast for us is to know that you care about the moments of your life. And for everyone that will be watching, probably you are the first time you are just watching this video after this broadcast, I want you to know that you matter to us and you are a treasure. We value you just as God value you, and I want you to value yourself. So like I was saying, the story that I want us to look at today is the story of David with Goliath and the army of Israel and Judah together at the war front. At that war front, these folks have been there. I mean, talking about the army, the Israel army and the Judah army together, they've been there for 40 days before David showed up. For 40 days, things weren't going the way it's supposed to go. You see, they are not supposed to be there going through moment from moment of horror, of pain, of shame, no confidence, of fear. They don't know what is going to happen next until David showed up. Two set of people in this moment that we're talking about: the army and David. This army couldn't see anything good in the moments that they were going through for 40 solid days and evening. David showed up. David saw something different in that moment that these folks didn't see. Somebody may ask me, excuse me, how did you know that David saw something different in this moment? If you look at how they have been responding to different moments in 40 days, if you look at their response, you will know that what they saw is different from what David saw. When David started talking, all they could tell David was their fear, was how scared they were. But when David looked at that moment, David saw something different than what everybody saw. But understand something here. It's the same type of moment or situation that they've been experiencing for 40 days. This Goliath, this Philistine giant, at a particular time during the day, this guy will show up and harass them. You see, humiliate them, speak derogatory words to them, and they will push back and they will hide. They cannot confront him. David heard that. David's response was different to their response, and this will be the basis for everything that we're going to talk about today. We're going to try as much as possible to make it short, not to be too long. But I want you to take note of something. Two people in the same situation, and they see different things. Hear this. Most of the situations of life doesn't show up expressing the best in them. Just like the situation that these folks were going through. He wasn't showing the best in it. And likewise, for you and I, in our lives, most of the things that confront us, most of the things that we go through, most of the things that we face in life don't express to us that, yes, there is the best available. Most of it is scary. Look at the time that our world is right now. In the United States of America, you can hear it loud and clear every day. They talk about inflation. Now they're talking about recession. They're not even sure whether we are in recession or we are not in recession. Likewise, individually, in our day-to-day journey, in our day-to-day activity, in the work that we do, that's how we experience things that it's like you can't really see anything good in the things that you encounter daily. How can we see the best in this moment? I want you to understand this, that in the midst of every situation in life is the best moment. I mean, in the midst of every situation is the best. Just like I said, you see, You have to be able to identify it and connect with it. That was what David did. David identified in the midst of humiliating situation, in the midst of scary situation. David was able to identify, he was able to connect with the best in that moment. The army of Israel couldn't identify it. They couldn't connect with the best. That was why they were there for 40 days and 40 nights. They couldn't do anything. But David showed up, and David saw something different. So, hear this. What is it that will help me identify and connect with the best in every situation? Is a great question to ask this evening. What is that thing that will help me to connect, and to identify with the best in every situation of life? I will put it this way: the way you think. Last week, we ended this broadcast with one action step that you and I need to begin to take to locate a place where you enjoy, where you think better, where your thinking ability comes alive. You see, and I know you've started that. You've been going here, you've been checking locations and you've been identifying, and for some of us, you have started thinking, right? But the question this evening is, are you sure what you're thinking about when you are in that position or when you are in that location? Are you sure what you are thinking about will help you to identify and connect with the best? Why did I say that? Hear this. The quality of your thinking determines whether you will identify and connect with the best in any situation or not. I said, the quality of your thinking determines whether you will identify and connect with the best in any situation or not. It's the quality of your thinking. And that is so important. Look at something here. Let me just go up here. I want to give us a good example here that I have written down before me here. When we talk about the quality of thinking, how do I know whether my thinking is of quality or not? Because the quality of your thinking will determine whether you'll be able to see the best in any situation or not. It will determine what you see. You see? Because in every situation, there is the best. Right? In every situation, most of the time, what showed up is not the best. What you see, what comes forward at that moment, it's not looking good, it's not looking nice. So look at this. Look at this example. When a glass filled halfway with water is placed before you, what do you see? It's a good question. And it's a pointer to the quality of your thinking. That talks a lot about the quality of our thinking. What do you see? A glass cup filled with water, halfway is presented before you. What do you see? Somebody says it's half empty. Somebody says it's half full. What is it that determines what you see in that cup? It's the quality of our thinking. Many people have been programmed to see negative in everything. The world that we live in, day after day, program people to see negative. The guy that said is half empty tends towards negative, seeing from the negative. The one that says, oh, it's half full, it's from the positive side. You see? And it's the quality of our thinking that determine, how we see all these things. It is the quality of our thinking. And that's what we're going to be looking at, this evening. See, one of the reasons people don't achieve their dreams is that they desire to change their results without changing their thinking. That's a major reason. Look at that. They want to, why they have not been achieving, why many people have not been able to get the best out of every moment. It's just that they are struggling. Everybody is struggling to change the situation. See, you can't change that situation until you change your thinking. It's very important. You see, the quality of your thinking determines what you do next, determines what you see. So, the question is, what should I do? You have to quit everything that makes you see problem in every situation. What did I say? I say you have to quit everything that makes you see problem in every situation. Some people are just so good seeing problem in every situation. Even something that is not showing up has problem. They can easily point out there is this problem, there is that problem, why it's not going to do this. Okay, look at what is going on right now. They keep pushing that news out every day. Pop, inflation, 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 inflation. All those is changing how we think. We've heard about inflation before. We have experienced inflation before. They're talking about it right now. We are actually experiencing it. The prices of everything has gone up. So, as they keep talking about inflation, it's like it's normal to actually think that, well, money will soon finish. Oh, I will not be able to afford this. I will not be able to afford that. Oh, things are really going to actually very soon start getting bad for me. Really, that is a normal thinking. Why? Because of what you heard, because of what you are experiencing. But do you know something? That in the midst of that inflation that they're talking about, that, oh, life is going to be difficult, life is going to be hard, things are not going to work. Do you know that some people are actually getting better, making more, changing life for the best? In the midst of that, it depends on what you see. You see, it's not really about what we feel. It's not really about what we are experiencing. Remember, the army of Israel were experiencing fear. They were experiencing derogatory words that makes them not to have confidence on self anymore. They can't even trust God that they call their God anymore. And David showed up in that same situation, and David refused to feel what they feel. Why? What do you think is the difference? David thinks differently. When David sees challenges, David's brain, in David's mind, is that you've got to confront this thing. You can't let this thing threaten you. Look at where David was coming from when you read that story in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 17. When Saul was talking about, hey, you are a youth, you can't do this. Did you know what David brought up to Saul? He said, when I was keeping my father's sheep, lion came, I killed. Bear came, I tore it. That shows you how David thinks. That, well, even this one, I'm going to tell you now. You see, that can tell you the quality of David's thinking. Instead of David thinking problem, David was thinking solution. That means David can always see the best in every situation, even when that situation looks like it has nothing in it. And that's exactly what I'm saying to us this evening. That, listen, every situation, most of the situation of life, it's not going to look like there is the best for you in it. But you've got to see beyond what that thing is projecting, what that thing is bringing to your face, or what that thing is saying to you. Inflation is saying fear. Inflation is saying tomorrow there's no tomorrow. Inflation is saying it's going to finish. Inflation is saying, well, my business is going to pack up very soon. Inflation is saying, oh, well, it's not likely I'm going to have a job tomorrow. But is that what you are hearing? If that is all you are hearing in this, then you got to work on your thinking. Because the quality of your thinking, it's not the quality that will be able to identify and connect with the moment. Very important. For you and I to be able to connect to the moment, which is the best moment that is in every situation, you've got to change how you think. And if we got to change how we think, one of the things that we got to do is that you have to quit everything that makes you see problem in every situation. What did I say? You got to quit everything that makes you see what problem in every situation. Quit. You've got to say, hey, we see, I have no business with you. You have no business with me. I'm not going to stay with you. You are not going to stay with me. I don't want you around me. You got to, everything. So, if it's everything, who you hang around with can influence how you think. What do I mean? Let me say that again. I said who you hang around with. Who you hang around with can influence how you think. Remember I said we've got to quit everything that makes us think negative. So, who do you hang around with? And when I say who, I don't mean all the time a person. Your who can be what you keep listening to all the time. That may be your who. You see, your who may be what you see, the book you read, the people you company with. Who is that you hang around with all the time? You got to quit. You got to quit that. If you're going to change the quality of your thinking, because the quality of your thinking determines whether you are going to be able to see the best in every situation that you go through, in every situation that confronts you. Then you got to change who you hang around with. Very important. You see, in most cases, our thought comes from what we see, what we hear, or what we read. So, if we're going to change the quality of our thinking, like I said last month, let's find that place where we'll be able to think. Because what we are thinking about determines how we are going to see life, how we are going to see the situation that comes across our life. Listen, the world that we live in, things are going to happen. You know, it's normal. It's normal. As I'm talking right now, you are going through something. The doctor have said something. The economists are saying something. Your friend is saying something. Are all those things helping you to think positively, or they are helping you to think negatively? Those are the questions you will begin to ask yourself when you sit down to think. Wait. What I heard this morning, the breaking news this morning, how does this affect my thinking? What my friend said yesterday, what my boss said at work, oh, that poster I read, is this affecting my thinking positively or negatively? And that's a good question that you've got to ask yourself. So let's go to the action plan. If we have listened to everything, or we have heard everything that we are hearing this evening, what is that one step that I should take forward? Last month we said, hey, identify that location, that area, that place where you are able to think. Right? So what is it this month? Before we begin to round up and meet next month. Change who you hang around with. One major thing that you got to begin to do from now. Remember, your who may be what you are listening to. Your who may be what you see all the time. Your who may be that individual that is always seeing the cup half empty. That is who that you've got to change. You cannot continue to hang around that individual. Look at this. If David choose to hang around those folks that are scared, that have lost their confidence even in their God, that have lost their confidence even in self, even in all the training that they've had, if he hang around them too much, do you think David will be able to confront Goliath? Because they are going to analyze everything for him. They are the one that are trained to go fight war. David was never trained to go to war. You see, what David was going to use, even Goliath said, look at you, do you think I'm a dog that you brought, stick and sling to fight me? But David wasn't thinking that way. You see, David's thinking was completely different. See, I met bear, I destroy it. I met lion, I destroy it. Who are you? Who are you? I'm going to destroy you too. You see, so David was not scared. Why? Because of the way David think. If David has been listening to the one that is always seeing the cup half empty, there is no way David can fight the battle. So, one major thing for you, my friend, today, for you, my sister, my brother, today, is that you've got to change who you hang around with. That is so necessary, so important for you to be able to experience the best in every situation of life. Remember, there is the best for you in every situation of life. And I will leave you with this evening till we meet next month. By the special grace of God, you are better than what you see, more than what you know, greater than what you look like. See you next month. Have a wonderful
Imagination is the ability to see with your heart what you cannot see with your eyes. Isaiah chapter 26 verse 3. You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you.
DIC Los Angeles, church with a difference.